Welcome to our Dallas HYROX race day vlog.
Here you go! Send it! Send it!
In today's video, we're going to bring you behind the scenes the whole entire weekend. We're gonna spill the beans on all the stations, how the race day went, and why we're not competing together again. Officially one day out from Dallas HYROX. George and I are in an Airbnb in downtown Dallas, and I'm just so excited for tomorrow. Last night it was basically a travel day, and we went to this place called Casa Vegana. It's a Mexican place, and we had the most delicious Mexican food.
She just went for it.
We forgot we were vlogging because we're so hungry. So these are orange chicken seitan. So chicken is the seitan. It's basically like a, I don't know, magic in taco form. And then I got the burrito, rice and beans. This is a veggie burrito, and George got another burrito. I think we're way in over our heads.
Yeah, and you have some other thing to come too, did you?
No, this is it. Yeah, this is really good.
I haven't had Mexican food in a while because in Florida we don't have a lot, believe it or not. So it was so good, and all vegan, of course. And today I'm just getting ready to go to the convention center so I can cheer on my friends that are competing from the gym, and yeah, just see kind of the layout, because the layout right now that they announce is completely out of order. So I'm kind of nervous, but I've been studying it a lot just to make sure that I don't mess it up, because when you are in the battlefield and you're about to redline, you're like not thinking quite straight. So it's important for us to do our homework, know how many laps we're running, know where the in and outs are, where the stations are, all of that. Yeah, we're just gonna see it. And last time that we did that, it helped out so much, because once you see it and you watch like a heat or a couple before you, it just makes sense, it just clicks. And then I've already done my shakeout run. It was a very easy pace. I think I was like a 12-minute mile. And then we did a couple of strides at the end, the race pace that we're planning on hitting. So the plan again is just to hit a PR tomorrow. So I don't care what it is, as long as it's below 115, which was our last time. And that's the beauty of HYROX. Like, it's the same workout over and over, and you just try to beat your last PR. And yeah, I've been on prep for 15, 16 weeks now, and I feel like I progressed so much. Like my first HYROX, I was barely even running. Like I was running, or I thought I was running, but I wasn't running a lot at all. And this is a race where you need to run all the time. So it's super important, because that is the majority of the race, the running. So if that's a weakness, you should be putting a lot of emphasis into that. And that's what I did. That's what I got a coach, so I wouldn't get injured, increasing mileage and all of that. So yeah, I am excited. I feel good. I feel confident. I'm a little scared too. You know, it's good to be scared and do things that scare you, because I know I'm gonna go into a dark pain cave and I'm just gonna lean into it, you know? And I have George there, and he always pushes me. So yeah, I'm excited. Okay, let's go to the venue. Okay, so this is all BuffBunny collection, and right now there is a huge Black Friday sale up to 80% off the entire website, and this fit is stupid cheap right now. Especially, you can now stack discount code Natalie on top of those discounts to get an additional 10% off, which is huge. And if you use my code across any of the brands that I work with, so Natalie, whether that is at Vedge Nutrition, BuffBunny Collection, any of the brands, you can enter my support giveaway that I do every single month. Last month, I gave a huge $500 mystery box, and this month I'm giving 2 $100 gift cards of your choosing. So you can enter that in the description box below. Okay, I'm gonna make George and I some breakfast. I don't have any of my regular kitchen utensils, so bear with me as I cut this bread with not the correct knife. But before our little shakeout run, we just had some carbs. I had dried mango, which I love, as a pre-run fuel. I also had a banana and a couple of dates. It just, all of those things really digest really well for me, and I practice with them many times. So if it's early and we're not filling up for like a big breakfast prior to a run, I never train fasted, so those are like my go-to carbs that I know will digest incredibly. But right now is post-run, so we need to make sure that we're carbing up properly for tomorrow. And I'm just making us some sourdough sandwiches. I have here some vegan tofurkey and some tofu, and I'm just gonna make a really nice veggie sandwich. I'm gonna put lettuce, tomato, all the good stuff. Let me just show you. I think I'm packing these way too heavily for the amount of bread. The bread to filling ratio is pretty unique. Check that out, it's a whole salad stick. Check that out. That's like the ultimate sub. I don't know if I can do this. Oh no. It's really good. Oh, here's Jorge. What's the rating?
Pretty good. There's a lot happening.
Yeah, I barely could close it up.
Well,
You ready for tomorrow?
it's gonna be good. Alright, so 3 laps. Take a left, come in here. 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute. Start the watch. And we're looking now for the 6 minutes each time. So run all the way to the end. We're running this. And then I think we have to go around this little station, right?
Yeah.
And then out.
Yeah.
And then 1,
2.
and then in on the second one. Okay, so in on the second one, and then it's all the way down to the end and to the right.
Okay. George and I ordered voodoo donuts. We thought they were like half the size of this,
Pretty big on.
so we order a bunch. They're massive. But this will be the pre-workout tomorrow. It's race day. Are you excited?
So excited.
Oh my gosh. So last night before bed, we kind of looked through the whole course and try to memorize it and study it, because that course is kind of all over the place. But our friends that competed yesterday, they said that it wasn't bad at all, that it was easy to navigate. So really important to not mess that up. So yeah, we put in the time to study it. So I have the outfits, and I don't know how I did it, but I convinced George to wear pink, and he was all about it. Luckily, it looks amazing on him. So let me show you the fits, because they're pretty epic. This time around, I decided to wear the Legacy shorts. I use these a lot during training. The fabric is not super sweat wicking, but it stays in place. I'm very comfortable in these shorts, so I wanted to wear something that was comfortable. And then for my bra, I chose this one. You might be thinking, Natalie, a halter? What are you thinking? This one's actually super high support. I wore it the other day for a track session, and when you put the strap all the way to the top and make it really tight, it takes all of that slack from your neck, so it doesn't feel like a halter, but it gives me all that compression that I need, so I'm not fussing with anything. These are not in the cardio pillar, believe it or not. not, these are in, I think, the Strength Pillar in BuffBunny collection, but they're both available if you guys want to check them out and use discount code Natalie. And George found these that are very Miami vibes, so matches perfectly. And I'm wearing the same shoes that I wore last time because they're really nice and they're a great running shoe. And the sole is not super chunky like a lot of the runners that you see out there, because you need a shoe that is great for running, that's fast, that's bouncy, but also that you can do squats and lunges in, you know? So those work really, really amazing for me. I got them in all black. Last time I had them in black and white, but I love these. And I saw a lot of the girls yesterday wearing belts to carry their goos if they don't have like pockets in their pants. So I'm actually considering bringing my belt. Not sure, I might give it to George, but we'll see. We'll see. George is wearing these Chubbies like pants. They're pretty cool. I'm jelly. They even have a pineapple. You ready? So as you guys could see in that last clip, I was super nervous, and George and I went outside to just lizard. That's what we call whenever we want to warm up in the sun. So as we were out there, this girl that has been following me for a while came up to us and said hi, and her name is Rena, and we all have to thank Rena for today's video, because if it wasn't for her, we wouldn't have any footage. And that's like the beauty of social media right now, is like we thought we were competing and not having anybody there for us because everybody left it that day. I think it was their travel day. And Rena was there the whole entire time just cheering us on. And that was like so cool. And so many of you came to say hi the day before when we were walking around doing expectating. And that was so sweet, so powerful, because yeah, it just made our day. It was so cool. Even George was like in the pictures. They all wanted him in the picture. So that was so cool.
Yeah, I was told I look too grumpy all the time, everywhere.
See, I tell George all the time, you need to fix that meme mug. He's trolling you guys. He wants to do it. He thinks he's cool. But, you know, he looks better with a smile.
Yeah, it was funny because I know that in Miami, it was huge for us, like having everyone there. Every station, we were getting screamed at by our friends and had like this huge hype squad, which really helps get you through an hour and change workout. And we thought, we were worried. We're like, it's going to be tough. Just no one out there, just us grinding through this. And then she had met her friend, and then I actually got a text message right as like we were about to go into bag drop and drop off my bag. And a friend of mine that I've known for a little while just happened to text me that he was at the HYROX in Dallas. And so he was there. So then we ended up having a pretty good cheer squad, which was really nice.
Yeah, it was neat. And they got footage. We didn't ask for footage, and that was so sweet of them, because now, yeah, we got footage to show you guys. So we should get into the stations and how the whole thing went.
Let's do it. Okay. So strategy-wise, going into this one compared to the last one, we didn't change a whole lot. I think we had a pretty good strategy going into it. We just modified a few things. Like for the first run, we said we were going to still go like a little bit quick, just because we knew that we'd each get a rest going into the ski erg. So coming in that first run, and it was an extra lap in this race, which was weird. So it seemed to take forever. It was 2.5 laps.
It was so hard to compare it to Miami first lap, because it was the opposite. In Miami, we had 1.5 laps versus this one we had 2.5. So even when it's the same race, it's really hard to compare, at least that first lap. So that was a little bit of a mind F.
And then the other thing we really wanted to do was the rock zone, because we didn't realize, I think, until our results in Miami, how much of a difference that made. So we made a pact that we were going to really run all the way to like where the station started and not be faffing around in the rock zone, no walking, none of that stuff. So we wanted to keep a nice pace going into it. So we ran, like we were passing people in the rock zone going into the first ski. And then in the ski, the only thing we changed in Miami, we did 250, 250, 250, 250, and broke it up that way. And in this one, we decided to do it by time instead. So we knew it was going to be right around 4 minutes. And so if we did a minute each, she would do slightly less than the 250, and then I ended up doing slightly more.
Yeah, and I was scared because in Miami, I started and he finished, and this one, he started and I finished. So I was like kind of scared going into that second run, but it actually worked out just fine because I had plenty of rest time. Again, like with having that full minute rest and just training specifically for, since Miami to do ski, row, all of the stations and the running, I just felt more equipped to like have an actual recovery as before Miami. I was like redlining. I told him one of my goals was to not redline in the ski because I'll never forget that feeling of like feeling like you're not going to finish at all on that first station. And that didn't happen this time. I felt very prepared, very excited. And yeah, I felt like my pacing was really good too, steady. And yeah,
Yeah, between the two of us, we averaged right around a 2 minute per 500. So well, that was how much faster than Miami?
the skier, we were 15 seconds faster. So I'm really, really proud of that.
Yeah, it felt good. And we got out of that station fast. We took off running out of there. And then I think that second run still, we knew we had the sleds coming up, and that was Natalie was like big concern was the sleds. So we took that run after the ski a little bit conservative, knowing we were going into the sled push.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys remember Miami. I thought I was going to own those sleds because I practice, but I just didn't have the conditioning, honestly, between the running and the sleds. And that was like my number one concern. I didn't do what I was supposed to last time, but I trained my butt off with these sleds and I felt really good, but I was still nervous. And when I got there, George started the length. We pretty much did the same strategy as last time where he did the first length and then I broke up the second one for him so he could take a break. And I moved that sled, guys. It was so, so cool to see like all that hard work paying off. And we did it pretty quick, actually. I didn't think we could go any faster than last time because last time was really quick, even though you blew up. But
Yeah.
23 seconds faster. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was huge. And we need to put up a side by side too of her doing the sled because
I wasn't moving it the
yeah,
first time.
it was totally different this time.
Yeah. And I was like so efficient. I was even looking to the side. Like they were like guys, like full size guys, and they weren't moving it as efficient. So it just shows you so much. It doesn't really come down to so much strength. Like you do need some, but with the sled push and pull, it comes down to a lot of like strategy and skill, like just mastering that skill.
So after the sled push, we weren't out of the weeds yet. Natalie was still a little worried about the sled pull. So we kept our pace really controlled going into that and then got into the sled pull. How'd you feel there?
I felt great. I practiced a lot of the sled pull and watched the pros and their technique, and I practiced that over and over and over. Last time, I was switching between so many different types of ways that you can pull a sled. Like I did it all in the span of the time that we were out there. And this time I knew exactly how to pick up the rope. I knew that I wanted to walk back 4 steps, manage my rope, and I felt really, really good about it. I didn't feel as gassed. And yeah, I just felt prepared. Like even in my training sessions, Meg had me doing a couple of days where we went very heavy on the sled pull. So I think those days really built up that confidence. And I would have George practicing with me over and over, kind of like, hey, like this is how the pros do it. I know you have the strength to like just go hand over hand, but let's do it this way. Like there's obviously something to it. And I would say we did really, really good. There's still some room for improvement with everything, but I think that one for sure, like we noticed the difference a lot by switching the strategy.
Yeah, I think just being efficient with it. Last time I just tried to muscle it and didn't really have a technique, but this one, like using the step back technique was good. The only thing for me is I still got to work on the rope. Like I was tripping all over the rope. At one point, I threw the whole thing into the lane next to us on accident. And then, yeah, it was just like in the way. And then I think I was slow to like put it down and re-grab it too. So there's some room for improvement, but I felt fine getting out of the sled pull. Whereas last time, that was the time where I told her in Miami, like, I'm not doing so hot. Like I need to have you pick up some of this slack because I'm hurting. So yeah, leaving the sled pull, I felt great. And then I knew Natalie was on top of the world there because just the huge improvement, like that's what she was working towards were those 2 stations. So after that, it was, smooth sailing for us, I think.
So on the sled pull, we also were better by 23 seconds. So both the sled push and pull, we got 23 seconds faster on each. That is wild.
Yeah, it was huge. And I think just I felt 1,000 times better after the sled pull than last time. So I'm super happy with that. And then, yeah, then we went out for the run again. I think at this point we started to feel like we were settling into our pace, maybe even picking up the pace a little bit, and then got into the burpees.
Yeah, the burpee broad jump. So burpees are one of my least favorite exercises ever. But again, I didn't want that to be an excuse, so I practiced them a lot. I also practiced that step up, and trying to manage the way that I do them consistently really, really paid off for me because I was smooth and steady rather than being like, just aggressive and frantic. And it was just a very smooth, steady pace. However, this time around, George did way more than last time. I think you started it and ended it, and I only broke it up once or twice.
Yeah.
So he definitely did more. But I knew I was starting on rower, so I kind of like communicated that to him on the run that if you want to pick up the pace, you're going to pick up the burpees. And George is like the burpee master, He does them so effectively. Like you're going to see here in the video, he's like not even trying and doing the version that nobody else does because he's so efficient that doesn't even get him like going. So for him, it's really smart to do it that way.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit of a mistake to do more because I felt my pace slow a little bit. Even though I didn't feel all that tired, it was just I couldn't do them as fast as I normally could.
So we were actually 8 seconds slower on that one.
Yeah, I think part of that, if I'm looking at it, two things. One, I slowed down a little bit, like I said, by doing more. And then the other thing was there were so many people that we had to kind of bob and weave. Like when Natalie went, she got stuck behind people, and then we had to like get up and like move to another lane. And then when I went to pick the lane on the turnaround, I like was running back and forth because every lane just had like people in it kind of standing across. So it was a little harder to kind of get through and like pass people. So I think that might have costed us a few seconds, but
Yeah, it was a busy course.
yeah, still 8 seconds on that.
Yeah,
That was
not
totally
bad.
fine. All right, so then another run and then into the row.
Yeah, so the row, I started it, and I did do a little mistake here, which I'm not too excited about, but I was blacked out. When you're working really hard, you just kind of zone out. And so we ran into the rock zone, which was a pretty easy one because right when you go in, it was right there to the left. So we didn't have to weave and bob anything. But I saw a seed and I like sat on it, and the lady's like, "No, you got to keep going." We somehow have overlapped the heat before us, and I was sitting in the heat before us. And they were like, "No, you got to keep going." So then I ran all the way to the end. So I feel like that's where we got slower because technically our time on the rower was shorter. So I'm really proud of the rower because I started it. I felt good. I've been training on this rower so much, guys. Every Tuesday or Wednesday, Meg has me doing about 30 minutes of row and ski. And this is where I saw those like improvements. I was actually holding a steady pace. I knew exactly the pace I wanted to hit. I was feeling good. And this is a time where we chose to fuel up. Everybody did. You're going to see here, like everybody's just drinking the goose. And George is having his while I'm rowing on the first round. And then we swap, and I am eating when he's sitting down. And I think we did pretty good in that one.
Yeah, we went with the same strategy on the ski row. We changed it to a minute each. I did feel more tired on the row this time than I did in Miami, but I think it might have just been we were running faster.
Yeah.
And so we came in a little faster, and I was rowing more distance, even though it was still just a minute. So it seemed a little bit harder.
So the row was the other station where we got a little bit slower, so 17 seconds slower, which we know why.
All right, so we took off on the run again and then came back in for farmer's carry.
Yeah. And farmers, I would say, is the one that we replicated to the T, exactly the same how we did in Miami. And I'm really proud of that one because George, he's really good at running with them. And he was just taking off. And then when it was my turn, I felt like I was moving them more efficiently than last time. I was also like, before on Miami, I was pretty much walking fast, but this time around, I felt like I was on a shuffle, almost to a run, so I was a little bit faster. And we got 3 seconds faster on that one. And I didn't think we could even improve on that one because he runs with them, so it's not even like a rest station for us.
I think the only difference on that one again was like when we first took off, there was just a wall of people like all the way across, and I was like trying to get in and like squeeze between them and with 2 kettlebells, so it was kind of hard. So I think that we would have been even faster.
Yeah.
I think we did save a lot of time by knowing which kettlebells to use, because last time in Miami we couldn't figure out. We were just standing there staring at the kettlebells trying to figure out which ones to bring. So that was faster. The other thing that I didn't mention too on that and the rope pull was I never could actually find the chalk, but there was enough chalk on the floor that each time I would just like, as I was running, just grab some off the floor and like get some chalk going. So I did that in both those stations, and then we were much faster. Like we were rock zone, picked it up, and then took off running, which I think saved us a lot of time there.
I think that's the smartest thing you did, because when I looked at the bucket of chalk, it was empty. So when I saw him doing that, I started doing that. So somebody must have grabbed the block and just completely shattered it on the floor. But it worked. It worked to our advantage. So that was nice.
So I think running out of there, we were still just a steady pace. The one thing that was throwing me off, now I think about it too, in these runs, was I tried to track it with my watch and like know what the pace was. But because it was indoors, the GPS wasn't working like at all. So it was just telling me my pace was like 25 minute per mile or something like that. Luckily, we did a lot of research before the night before while we were eating dinner, and I had a backup, which I just knew that each lap, including the rock zone, to hit our goal pace was like 6 minutes and change. So all I was doing was trying to make sure that when we would pass the gate for the in and out each time, it was around 3 minutes. And that was like the best I could do. A lot of it was sort of by feel, trying to get the pacing down. But I think at this point that was working pretty well, and we settled into our pace really well around that point. So we went into the run and then sandbag lunge, which we changed our strategy only slightly. I've gotten a little better at lunges, kind of on accident, because she's making me do them a lot and just doing them in different workouts, so they're not as terrible for me. But we knew that her cleaning the sandbag took a long time last time, and so I just could grab it and throw it on my back and start the lunges a lot faster. So that was the only thing we changed.
Running.
Yeah, I just was able to whip it up there pretty quick and then start lunging. And I did a few more lunges than last time, but Natalie's like a lunge professional, so she did the majority.
Yeah, I think last time it was like an 80-20 split.
Mhm.
I did the majority, and this time I would say it went to like a 60-40 split. So he did
Yep.
a lot more, and that helped too, because again, we're trying to go for a time. We're trying to improve a time. So I had to set my ego aside of wanting to do everything 50-50 and be like, okay, I notice I start slowing down when I hit example 20, right? So then George can just swap out for me, and we can continue that steady pace rather than slowing down. And when I see him slowing down, I would tap behind him and we swapped out. So I think that strategy worked really in our favor. And then communication. So I communicated to him like, hey, I know after this, we're going to go on a full sprint to the wall balls, because George can go into the wall balls pretty fatigued and do a good set. And I was like, if my legs are toast, that is not going to happen. Like, I'm going to go a lot slower. So I knew I was going to black out. So I was like, hey, you need to finish this station. So he did the last stretch on that one. And that helps so much.
It was a lot hard. No dancing for me this time. I was hurting pretty bad. And the other thing that like really hurt more than like my legs or my glutes was just my knee from like hitting it into the ground to like make contact, because it just seemed like there was like the thin turf or carpet and then just concrete. So like I was really hurting my knees as I was going. But other than that, I was happy with that station.
Yeah.
The difference is like for me, I have to kind of step in between, especially when I get tired, and Natalie can just kind of march straight through it. So she's much more efficient, but saved her legs.
We got 5 seconds faster on the sandbag lunges. That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
That's
And again, on that one too, we had to weave a little bit
Yeah.
around people. So we'll call that the reason why we're only 5 seconds faster. But then from there, we took off on the run. And this was the first time in the race where I looked at like the overall time of like how long we'd been out there. And it was a little bit closer than I wanted it to be. And honestly, at this point in my head, I was like, man, we've been going so fast. We're about to set a course record. We're about to qualify for something. Like it felt like we were going so fast.
We were going fast.
We were going, yeah.
Yeah.
And I looked and I was like, oh, we got to move to make sure that we PR this thing. So that last run, I was like, nah, we got to go. And it was like a full on sprint. I took off maybe a little too fast and like looked back and was like,
And I was like, Jack, come back.
yeah, it was a little, I don't know. We were moving,
Yeah.
and we were kind of weaving in and out.
It was a run PR for me.
Yeah.
A 1K run PR. Like,
Yeah.
so at race, on race day. But that was huge. That doesn't happen.
And I think we both felt okay, but I was tired. I was pretty fatigued, and then sprinted right to the wall ball. And then, if I'm being honest, when I got to the wall ball, I was like, I don't think I'm going to be able to do that big of a set. Like, I was hurting. I was really out of breath. And I picked up the wall ball, and I did the first couple, and I was like, okay, my legs are all right. Like, I can hang on here. Luckily, because like in CrossFit, I train with only the 20-pound wall ball, so I never touched the lighter wall ball. So that's a nice treat at the end of the HYROX race where I'm like, okay, at least it's a couple pounds lighter. And I was able to do 50, which was my goal. And then Natalie took over.
Oh my gosh, guys. I was so blacked out. At this point, I left my soul. My soul was out in that run. Like, I sold my soul on that run. And I was dead. So now instead of the buckets to like hit depth, they have like these big boxes inside of like the, I don't know, where I have to stand while he's doing wall balls area. And I just held down to that. And I was just like looking down completely out of it. I was like, don't sit or else you're going to like fall. You're going to fall over. And I'm just looking, and I look at the monitor and I'm like, oh my gosh, he is flying through these. And I know that at the moment that he hits 50, it's going to be my turn. And I was not ready. I was like so gassed. It took me that whole time to like recover. And then he drops the ball and I'm like, oh shit, it's my turn. And I'm still so out of it. The first 2 reps you guys are going to see here, I look like a drunk woman. Like, I am tripping over my own shoe, like my own feet. I'm just like, I'm wobbling. I've never been so out of touch with my body in my life. Like, it was like my brain wanted to wobble, but my body was just not doing it. It was crazy. And I look over to George in pure panic and I'm like, okay, I gotta fucking do it. I gotta do it because he's out there recovering and he needs the recovery. So I was shooting, last time I did, what was 25?
I think so.
This time I did 25, but I got 5 reps.
Yep.
5 no reps, guys. The first few reps, they just like, I was not even hitting the target. It was going there, but it was bad. It was a mess. So I got 20.
Yeah, luckily I was so like in pain at this point. I was just like looking at the floor. So I missed her tripping all over herself and doing all that. But then she came back and I was like, man, that was a short rest. And I had no idea what number she was on. And then when I turned around, it was like 70. And I was like, oh, I got to do 30 wall balls now. I was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to do this. But same thing, I just kept going. And then it got down to like 15 left. And I was like, okay, I think I can hold on. I think I can hold on. And I also got probably in that last set 3 or 4 no reps where I was just not hitting the target. But then we were able to finish it. And how was that station? How did we do on that one?
I think with all of that, I'm going to call it the George station because he did the majority of the work. You got 9 seconds faster.
9 seconds faster.
That's pretty good.
So I'll take it. I don't really know how we shaved time because we did the same thing the last time. My goal is to do it in 3 sets. So like I do a big set, she recovers, and then we split whatever's left kind of thing. And we were able to do the same thing. So I don't know where it was faster. Maybe we had just more or no reps last time. I'm not sure, but
Yeah.
we were able to get out of there and then sprint to the finish. So
Yeah. We sprinted hard. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't have anything left in me, but we're gonna do it because we need to pass this and we need to hit a PR. And when I passed that finish line, I had the biggest smile on my face because I saw the time and I was like, yes, we did it. Like, my number 1 goal was to PR and not just have like a few second PR. Like, I wanted to shave some minutes. And when I saw the 1:11, I was just like, I look over at George and I'm like, we did it. And George is just like gone.
I was in pain.
I've never seen him like that.
Yeah, I left it all out there. I was in a lot of pain. I was really happy. I was super stoked because I know how bad Natalie wanted it. And I was like, we've got to get a PR. And yeah, it was what, a 4 minute?
4 minute and 22 second
4
PR.
minute, 22 second PR.
That's huge. Huge. Like, I don't think you guys understand, like, in the endurance world, just to shave off seconds, like, it's a big deal. To not only do that, like, but minutes, it was pretty cool. And I knew that we had it. Like, my preparation leading up to it, like, built a lot of confidence. And not only that, through the race, like, I was hurting really badly and I blacked out in that wall ball section, but my body was equipped to handle it. I don't know how else to explain it, but I felt
good, even though I was not good, if that makes sense. I don't know. I felt like I was just ready for it. And yeah.
Yeah, and I think the big lesson learned too, like looking back and looking at the numbers, is we already talked about like each station where we shaved a little bit of time and stuff. But of the 4 minutes, we had, what was it, 3 minutes in the rock zone
Yeah.
faster. And so 3 of the 4 minutes were rock zone time, then the other stuff, and then a little bit in the run. But you can see just how important that run is to all this. Like we had huge improvements in the sled pull, the sled push, and all that kind of stuff. And it was a 4 minute PR, which is pretty big. But I mean, you take some time off the run times 8 1Ks. That's where you're making all your time up. So
I think the smartest thing that you did with just taking the runs and pacing and the time domain that we wanted to hit was that you did that from in and out of the rock zone. Like you were counting that rather than people are just counting the 1Ks without really having in consideration the rock zone as their total overall time. So we had that in there. That's why we were aiming for the 6 minute instead like a 5 minute 1K because it was more than 1K once you go in. So that was genius. And I feel like that made a huge difference.
yeah, I just need to simplify a backup plan where I could look at my watch and know. And so as soon as we finish the station, I'd hit the lap reset, and then we'd go and I'd look for 6 minutes. The only thing where it got interesting was the longer transitions in the rock zone, like weren't accounted for. So then we had to just run way faster on those laps. So it was kind of nice. Like if the transition was short, our pace was a little slower. And if it was longer, I'd be like, oh, we're behind schedule. Like we got to move. And so we'd be running a little bit faster. But
You know, I was a really good surprise to hit those paces. I was really, really proud. And yeah, I'm excited to see more improvements, definitely, because I think we can do so much better. Like, there's so much room for potential and like growth.
so overall, all the run times combined, we ended up saving about 30 seconds per run, which is, I'm excited about that. And then including the rock zone, which was way faster. So
Yeah.
pretty excited. How do you feel overall about it?
I feel so proud. I mean, I treated this prep like a bodybuilding prep, you know. I didn't miss a workout even when it was like an impossible week where I was traveling. I modified, I swapped around and, you know, I made it work. I think I only missed one when I was really sick. And other than that, like I just head down and I did it. I executed. I had a lot of fun with my training. This is the most fun I had in a long time with my training. And just being challenged in a different way was really cool and very special to do it with George. So I'm just so proud that we got to like tackle that goal together. And yeah, I'm excited to do it again. I'm excited to see how far we can improve.
So speaking of doing it again, you announced that you are no longer doing HYROX Mixed Doubles with me.
Well, you might think that the prep series is over here, but we're just getting started. I signed up for Phoenix, Arizona Pro Solos, and I am terrified.
She also signed me up for open solo, right?
Yeah, so we're giving the mixed doubles a break, but we'll be back. We'll do them again. But I'm really excited to just see what I'm capable of without having George. Like, I'm not gonna lie, he is a huge huge reason why we got that time. He's a huge reason why I stay so positive in that run and in that race. Um, just because he pushes me. He pushes me. He's way fitter than I am. So yeah, I can't wait to see what I'm capable of on my own and all the work that I've been putting in. I know that, yeah, I'm excited. I'm kind of panicking because I saw the pro girls during this weekend. Refreshed. Guys, they sounded like a train. They were like just sprinting. And I'm like, why couldn't I just signed up for open? Why didn't I do open? I just was like, you know what? I'm going to do pro.
Yeah.
But I'm excited. I'm excited for the challenge. I mean, we should do things that scare us. And, you know, it's a cool thing. And we're going to Phoenix, Arizona. I think it's the last weekend of January. So we're like 6 weeks out. We got to get to work. Are you excited about yours? Going
I'm
solo?
excited. I love.
Crush it. He's going to do so good.
I played like team sports and stuff growing up, so I always love anything where it's like a team aspect. And so like doing it with Natalie, it's just so much fun. Like she works so hard, and then I mean we're all super proud of how much work she puts in and how dedicated she is, and then to be able to like do it with her is so much fun. And so like I would definitely prefer to do doubles, but I think there is something cool about the challenge of doing it solo. But I mean, it's gonna be lonely out there for
I know.
what do you do for an hour by yourself out there?
We were
It's gonna be a
checking
little
in on
different.
each other and
Yeah.
like, who am I gonna talk to? But it's good. It's good. It's gonna be fun. I'm sure he's gonna be screaming for me. I'm gonna be screaming for him because that's the beauty of HYROX. Like you can get right in there, and yeah, I have no doubt he's gonna be coaching me behind the scenes. So yeah, I'm excited. So yeah, my next video will be here before you know it. But I guess we'll see you guys in Phoenix. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to give this video a huge thumbs up. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you are new here. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye. We did it. We PR'd.
You excited?
Yeah.
How-
So happy.
How'd it go?
We did a, what did we get? A 4-minute PR?
Something like that.
Yeah, that's huge. I'm so proud.
And you did so good. How was the sled?
I did this sled, guys. I didn't bunk. I'm so proud.
It was moving so easy.
Yeah, it was so good. It felt good. How about you?
So good.